This being the time and place for a regular scheduled February Planning Commission meeting, I'd like to call us to order. Please call the roll.
Lawrence.
Here.
Gordon. Here. Hayes.
Here.
White.
Here.
Harry. Here. Apple. Here. Burrows.
Here.
Pike. Pepper.
Okay, we do have a quorum. Do we have any corrections or additions to the minutes from January's meeting? Not, do we have a motion and second to accept them?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Temple, second by Mr. Borden. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Okay. All opposed, state aye. So there's no opposed. We accept those minutes as presented. Okay, I'd like to take a moment to introduce the Planning Commission members and give a brief description of what we do and how this meeting is conducted. The Commission has 9 members. 8 of us are volunteers appointed by the mayor for a 6-year term. We also have 1 member from the City Council. My name is Kent Lawrence. Our Vice Chair is Gary Borden. Our Secretary is Larry Way. Other members of the board are Francis Tate, Myrna Burrows, Ross Terry, and Forrest Temple. Eddie Pike is not here today, and Councilman Pepper is not with us today either. Members of the public seeking to get an item considered by the Planning Commission must send an application to the Planning Department not less than 21 days prior to this meeting. Unless otherwise specified, all applications for development approvals are the results of submittals by a private citizen seeking some change in their own property. In making our decision, a primary tool used by the Planning Commission is the One Decatur Comprehensive Plan. This is a general community plan for the city of Decatur, was adopted through a public process to formalize a vision for the future of the community that represents the interest and will of all Decatur residents. In many of these cases, the Planning Commission does not have the final say. Zonings, annexations, vacations, sidewalk cafe license, and some resolutions all require additional approval by the City Council before they become official. In these cases, the role of the Planning Commission is to advise the City Council. The first part of the meeting is generally a public hearing, although today we don't have any items that require a public hearing. So we will go straight into the consent agenda portion. This is the part where they're all read together, and then we vote on after they've all been read. If you wish to comment on an item, we ask that you come forward to the microphone, state your name and whether you're a citizen of the city, then make your comments. We ask that you keep it to 3 minutes or less. After you're through, if you would move to this desk and sign in, put your name and address on the sign-in sheet for us, please. Okay, so in today's consent agenda, we have certificates to subdivide or consolidate. This is a one-step process to subdivide or consolidate not more than 3 lots. A survey is required. Then we also have some site plans. These are proposed developments on the Collector Street or above. These plans show building placement, parking, circulation, landscaping, etc. So if you'd please read the first case. And I think you wanted to make a statement before that.
How y'all doing? Tommy Williams with the Planning Department. And yes, you're right, Ken. I did want to make a statement about the agenda and not getting to the website in a timely manner. I would like to take full responsibility for not getting the agenda up in a timely manner. The agenda was being worked on up until the Planning Commission. Therefore, I could not post it to the website. The reason I was comfortable going forward with the rezoning is because it did not violate any state codes. It is our standard and protocol to post the agenda on the website, which we try to live up to, but in this particular situation, we could not. The people who were supposed to be notified were notified. The people who were supposed to be notified is the general public, and the general public was notified through our legal notice in the newspaper and our signs that we put out for rezoning, as well as our letters that we sent out to the surrounding property owners. With adequate notification being done, I felt sufficient enough to move forward with the rezoning. I also want to reiterate that this is a rezoning is always a recommendation to the city council. So with that being said, I was comfortable going forward with the rezoning for Country Club Drive. And I hope that you all was comfortable going forward with the rezoning. And if you have any questions about it, we will try to do better. We will maintain our protocol that we have set. But if you have any questions about it, we can discuss it.
And of course, he's referring to last month's meeting. This agenda was posted 7 days ago, correct?
Correct. And I was talking about, yes, January's last month's meeting not being posted.
Okay. Anybody have a question or comment of that? Okay, thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Do the first case.
First, we have Site Plan 698-25. It is 0.64 acres. The current zone is B2 General Business. The applicant is Sakala LLC, and the landowner is Sakala LLC. The location is 2142 6th Avenue Southeast and 1308 Fairway Drive Southeast. Their request is to approve their site plan, and the proposed land use is commercial. One Decatur future land use is community commercial, and One Decatur street typology is 6th Avenue is a principal arterial, and Fairway Drive is a local street. Conditions to be met. Number 1, please show loading and unloading areas on site plan. Number 2, please provide plumbing plans, BTU load appliances, 4 ounce or 2 speed, and gas permit for gas services. Number 3, please submit sanitary plans to Decatur Utilities for approval. Number 4, please provide additional parking or apply for a variance. And a point of information. Number 1 is any relocation of utilities will be at the owner's expense, and any relocation needs to occur before construction. Number 2, coordinate with Decatur Utilities Gas Department and Decatur Utilities Engineering Department before demolition to abandon the existing gas services. Number 3, on-site power infrastructure exists. Contact engineering to identify and resolve any potential conflicts. Once again, I want to reiterate that they have already resubmitted their site plan, and it will be sent out to the other departments today.
Before we go any further, let me ask a question on this number 4, the conditions. So did the site plan have additional parking, or they still need to go to the vote?
They're going to still have to go to BOZA and apply for a variance.
Okay.
They did not add additional parking so they will be going to apply for a variance.
Okay, so that's a big thing. If we approve it today, they still will have to go to BOZA, and if BOZA doesn't approve it, then the site plan would not be approved.
Correct. In the perfect world, they didn't know they was going off the new zoning ordinance instead of the old one. And so in the perfect world, we would have got the variance before they came to Planning Commission, but we weren't able to do that this time.
So what he's referring to there, in our new ordinance, it requires less parking for restaurants, so they did meet that. So. But of course, we're still in the old ordinance. So
Correct.
Okay, thank you, Tom.
Thank you. Next, we have Site Plan 699-25. It is 2.7 acres. The current zone is M1 Light Industry. The applicant is Pre-Wright McAnally, and the landowner is Darrell Sims. The location is 204 Pride Lane Southwest, and their request is to approve their site plan. Proposed land use is industry, and One Decatur future land use is Flex Employment Center. One Decatur street typology is Pride Lane is a local street. Conditions to be met. Number 1, please add internal circulating arrows. Number 2, please provide dumpster location. Number 3, please submit sanitary plans to Decatur Utilities for approval. And number 4, per engineering approval. A point of information is any relocation of utilities will be at the owner's expense, and any relocation needs to occur before construction. Number 2, on-site power infrastructure exists. Contact engineering to identify and resolve any potential conflicts. Site Plan 700-25. This site plan would be tabled. They are going through the process with community development. So until they finish up their process with community development, this would be tabled.
Okay, we better take a vote to table, so, correct, Ruth?
Yes, I think it needs to be voted on.
So should we just do that now and pull this out of the consent agenda? Okay. So we did ask to table this. Do we have a motion and a second to table?
Motion to table it based on the request.
Second for that.
A motion by Mr. Wade, second by Mr. Borden. All, please call the roll.
Lawrence.
Yes.
Gordon.
Yes.
Holt. Gray.
Yes.
Terry.
Yes.
Temple.
Yes.
Earls.
Yes.
Thank you. You can continue.
Next, we have certificate 3638-25. It is 1.22 acres. The current zone is B2 General Business, and the applicant is TTL. The landowner is Sharish Patel, and the location is 1810 11th Street Southeast. Their request is to subdivide one parcel into two, and the proposed land use is commercial. One indicated future land use is neighborhood commercial, and one indicated street typology is 11th Street Southeast is a collector urban. Conditions to be met. Number 1 is please extend the sewer main to the west parcel. Number 2, please provide electrical easement for existing power. And number 3, please show the right-of-way on 11th Street. A point of information. Number 1 is any relocation of utilities will be at the owner's expense, and any relocation needs to occur before construction. Certificate 3639-25. It is 1.29 acres. The current zone is B2 General Business, and the applicant is TTL. The landowner is Takala LLC, and the location is 2142 6th Avenue Southeast and 1308 Fairway Drive Southeast. Their request is to subdivide 3 parcels into 2, and the proposed land use is commercial. One indicated future land use is community commercial, and one indicated street typology is 6th Avenue is a principal arterial, and Fairway Drive is a local street. There are no conditions to be met, and a point of information is any relocation of utilities will be at the owner's expense, and any relocation needs to occur before construction.
Okay, is there anyone from the public that would wish to speak to any of these cases?
My name is Wells Holiday. I'm with Takala LLC, 3750 Corporate Woods Drive, Vestavia Hills, Alabama. I'm here to answer any questions you have on the proposed Taco Bell or the subdivision shown.
Anyone have a question? All right, thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, I have a question about the Taco Bell.
First, if you'd state your name, please.
Mike Faruqi.
And you are a citizen of Decatur. Thank you. And I'm sorry, I forgot to get you to sign in over here. Sure. Since he gets by, you can go ahead, Mr. Faruqi.
Well, the question first off is for y'all, reference the Taco Bell. Is it in the best interest of the city for this to happen? This project or this change to whatever's going on over there?
I think it is, yes.
Does everyone agree with that? So why are we even having this discussion if everyone agrees with it? Because you haven't heard him tell you what it's going in, what's going to be the change. I don't know what the change is.
I do.
Do you all know? Sir? Larry?
According to the plan submitted, I know what's going on.
What is it?
They're developing new Taco Bell.
Okay, do we have enough Taco Bells here?
That's not for us to decide.
Okay, so with a new planning director being possibly interviewed the next couple of days, who is part of Decatur 1 or One Decatur plan, looking at the number of restaurants, car washes, dialysis machine businesses being operated in the city as the best interest of the city.
We don't have requirements or limitations on how many businesses we can have in the city.
So we can have,
And just to sort of clear this up, it's not an additional Taco Bell. It's a new building for an existing Taco Bell.
so the original Taco Bell is going to go away and this new building's going to go in?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that was not clear when I looked at those pictures. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Second question referenced the TRC. Normally these
And
things,
let me also add in there too, it also takes out their original Taco Bell building that was there. So they're taking out an old Taco Bell and an old gas station and building a new building. So that does help clean up that area a little bit where we take out an older building.
okay, well, the reason I'm asking now about the TRC is that process of looking at what the impact would be for parking and for access to buildings and traffic based on the new location would provide some guidance, I think, on whether that's a good idea or not. Did we have a TRC meeting prior to this?
We sure did.
Okay, it's not listed. Normally you have your agenda and there's a TRC listed like a week prior. It occurred?
There's always a TRC the week prior.
Okay.
It would also address parking, and it's going to have to go to those for variance.
Okay.
It also takes the egress and ingress off of 6th Avenue and puts it on Fairway as well.
Well, there's a lot, I think there's a new cancer facility being built on 6th Avenue. I don't know where that is.
It's quite a bit down from this.
Okay, where is it? Because no one's been able
The
to.
Cancer Center?
Yeah.
By the Decatur
Decatur Shopping Center. Do you know where the old Coca-Cola bottling plant was years ago?
Yeah, the one that's all dilapidated brick building on the corner?
This is an empty lot. It's been an empty lot for many
Then I
years
don't.
now. You know where Saputo Foods are? Yes.
Yes, across the street?
Right straight across the street from there.
across the street.
Okay. Now, the Cook property that you guys talked to initially in this meeting,
Well, I think what Mr. Williams talked to was the reason for not having an agenda.
well, agendas are a problem here, but my concern is the Cook property specifically was mentioned in the last city council meeting as having neighborhood meetings, which is in, I don't know whether it's contravention. Just a minute, please. Just a minute, please. Just a minute, please. Can I finish my thought? It appears to be in contravention to what the intent is in the new zoning regulation, because neighborhood meetings and notices were both shuffled off to, you can have them or you can't have them, but no one's going to call anybody up unless it's a property on Fairview with a golf course nearby where, yeah, in that case, it becomes an issue. So why don't we have that as part of our new zoning regulation? Notices, public notices, and neighborhood meetings.
It's just not in the rewrite.
Should it be? Larry?
That's not part of this case today.
Well, it was brought up in the beginning of this meeting.
No, sir.
Yeah, the Cook property was.
It's not part of this agenda, sir.
Well, does anyone have any thoughts on whether or not we should have notifications for all these things that are going on in the city for our development?
Let me just say this.
Yes.
You can come to a city council meeting anytime.
I go to all of them.
Well, you know you can get up and express you make your expression. Anything you want to do, you can do that. You have that privilege.
I do.
Well, good. That's what you should do.
Right, but before it goes to city council for a vote, which apparently will happen next month, notices specifically and neighborhood meetings were both taken off of the agenda. We added some other thing called family, a definition of family into that listing. Totally irrelevant to the process of whether or not people are notified of things going on in their neighborhood. So I'm asking this body, which I believe is in your repertoire, to answer that question, whether or not we should have neighborhood
I
meetings.
don't think that is in our repertoire, especially if it's a meeting that has to do with the.
Is zoning in your repertoire?
We deal with our zoning.
Okay, and if your zoning currently says that you're taking those off the table, should that be addressed?
Can you show me where it says that according to zoning, we're taking it off the table?
It's not mandatory in any of the developments.
Well, it's not being taken off the table.
So at what point, other than Cook, are we going to have neighborhood meetings for properties being developed in our city?
Whenever those meetings happen to be called, sir.
Well, we've had 3 that have been called that have not had those meetings. No neighborhood meetings. They're just down my street.
There's no requirement at this time on that meeting.
Should there be a requirement?
In your opinion, do you think there should be?
I absolutely believe there should be.
Why don't you make note of that?
I have. At city council on numerous occasions, I've done that, and I'm making notice to this body.
Okay.
Who here is going to the interviews on the planning directors?
That definitely
Okay.
has nothing to do with this, sir.
You're right.
Anyone else like to speak? Hey, seeing no one else has any comments, we have a motion and second to approve.
Motion to approve. Second?
Motion by Mr. Temple, second by Mr. Borden. Any comments or questions from anyone on the commission? Please call the roll.
Lawrence.
Yes.
Gordon.
Yes.
Petty.
Yes.
Gray.
Yes.
Terry.
Yes.
Temple. Yes. Earl.
Yes.
These cases are approved with a 7-0. Only other thing I'd like to mention, our next month meeting, instead of being on Tuesday, the 18th, will be moved to Monday, the 17th. And that's already on the city calendar that way. So no other business, we are adjourned.
I've already got you.